Alrighty, welcome everyone. This is our monthly district advisor meeting for February. Um, First of all, you hadn't already put into the chat where you're from. Alrighty, let's get started. Um, First, yeah, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can unmute yourself to talk. COVID updates, nothing really new here. Again, I just want to point people to the Launch Nebraska status page where you can update your data out there. I think a communication went out to superintendents about this, I want to say. That didn't go directly through me though. All right, a couple of updates on advisor for the current year. We did add a new warning where it's for a student's age is not within the common range of ages for the grade level they're in. Obviously, this is a warning. The data could definitely be correct. We try to give it, I think, like a 3-year range that they could be in where it wouldn't flag them. But I haven't really seen anything yet. But yeah, if you have any feedback about that one, please send us a ticket to the help desk. But yep, that one's been turned on now for a couple of weeks. Update about the student crisis event flag. So we've officially decided we do not need to collect this for COVID-19. So this is the flag that just says a student is affected by a crisis and or whether they were displaced by it. It wasn't really meant for, a pandemic that affects everyone. So at this point, I think you don't need to send this to us. If you have sent it to us, no big deal. We're not going to use that data. Really, the student crisis event was for when we have crises that don't affect every student in the state. So yeah, we are going to get rid of that COVID-19 flag. So next year, but we'll leave it in there for this year for now, since I know some people have already been sending it. Another update, CRDC, the Federal Department of Ed, has officially moved this back. So it was supposed to be that we were going to collect your data from 1920 and give it to the feds. But they never really made, the 1920 collection official. And because of the pandemic, they decided to just move it back a year. So the data you're submitting right now is going to be the data that is used for the civil rights data collection, where we assume that it'll probably be around January of next year when they would report out that data, although they don't give a firm schedule on that. So here's the link where they go over it. Definitely a couple of key things here if you are interested. On this page, these two documents are pretty much the key ones. The detailed list of all the data elements and this question and answers one is very useful because one of the main questions it has is what is different in 2021. So compared to 17-18, which was the last time they did CRDC. Not too many changes. One new data element, preschool students receiving out of school suspension. Technically, I guess we do, we would accept suspension records for preschool students that you send us. So we can report that. And then new optional fields, we will definitely look at supporting these if possible, given that 2021, we're already halfway through the year. And then there was a lot of data elements that were dropped down here.
So bottom line for districts, we just don't worry about it right now.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you will have to worry about it. If you remember, so NDE is going to submit the data that we do have from Advisor, but it will still be up to the district's responsibility to actually finish their CRDC submission, presumably through whatever CRDC website they offer. Because we know that there's some fields that aren't available in Advisor. And so technically districts will have to go in and finish it off and fill in any missing data.
And have districts been notified at all from civil rights? We used to get information from them saying, hey, this is when it's due, blah, 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 blah. We haven't heard anything. And is that okay?
I do not know exactly when they are supposed to send that out. So, I mean, this is very recent that they've even actually.
There was a communication about this change. So if you didn't receive it, this is Anna ESU3, I would double check who the contact is. They have a place where you can submit who your contact is for your district and maybe find out maybe they got an old email or something.
Okay, because usually on the
Yeah, I know something came out, like there was a official email. I'll see if I can find it. Who is this?
This is Cheryl from Beatrice.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and email you, Cheryl, if I find it.
Thank you.
Leah was asking, did districts have a choice on whether or not we submitted the data? We didn't really think we would need that feature, I guess, since whatever we submit isn't finalized. Districts could technically delete everything that we submit. But I guess we haven't really gotten to the point where we can really test that out yet. So as far as I know, we aren't planning on that feature, but it is something that we could talk about again later. Obviously, we don't yet.
Could you add me to that email too? I've double checked my information in the CRDC and all my information is correct, but I have not received anything. This is Jennifer at Broken Bow.
Yep, yeah, I'll do that.
I don't see anything about setting up the contact on this page. Probably that's also buried somewhere in the Department of Ed website. But yeah, we will be following up on this though. So the NDE will be releasing some validation reports that show you what CRDC data we're able to pull from Advisor. We'll be putting that on the Advisor validation website. We're targeting in March to get that out. Kim was asking, inside PowerSchool, they have a CRDC report. Yeah, I believe the CRDC report in PowerSchool is similar to our idea, where it's trying to show you all the CRDC data that they have in PowerSchool. So I'm not really familiar with it, but it is, I'm sure, should be useful. They also whatever report they have in PowerSchool must have been based on the 1718 standard, so they'll probably also have to update on their end. And I guess a couple of people said that the superintendent received the communication. So now we at least know that something's happening with CRDC, so we'll be following up on this now. For a long time, we were expecting the 1920 specs to come out, but they never did. Okay, if there's any other questions, I'll move down to next year for advisor. So like we said before, we're working on adopting the newest Ed5 version for next year. We don't expect huge changes compared to the current version. So we've been working with ESUCC and we're setting up new servers for the new version and just having new infrastructure in the background. We've got our build server set up, so we're working on the sandbox environment that vendors will use now. Not quite ready, but we are hoping to have that around the end of this month. We are close to finalizing the list of changes for next year on the data elements, not stuff that's not related to the Ed5 upgrade, but just our usual yearly changes. I think we'll probably bring those to this meeting next month, and we should have a pretty well-defined list by then, as well as we'll have some of our initial documentation ready for the vendors. So I think we'll have plenty to talk about next month on that. Vendors, just keep holding tight. I will email you once our documentation and the sandbox is ready.
Are you expecting that by like March then?
Somewhere around there, I think.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I don't have a firm date yet, but advisor validation website, this is the same thing I had written last month, because I haven't looked at getting the next version tested and deployed yet, but we'll be putting out a little update in the near future. Dashboard, also no updates, just a reminder that the dashboard is running. Vendor status updates. So I did email all the vendors that had items from the data certification that needed testing still. So if you haven't responded to me on those already, please do. Some of you didn't get anything from me though, because you didn't have anything to test. So I haven't heard of any other big vendor news. If there's any vendor reps on here that want to share anything, please go ahead.
No major updates from Infinite Campus as of right now.
Yep.
PowerSchool's working on a few things, but yeah, nothing major at this point in time. We're just kind of trying to fine tune a couple things. There is a known issue with publishing of grades, and that's collective across Nebraska. So that is what we're working on, or that's the priority right now.
All right, thank you.
Amy, this is Kathy.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Kathy. Mhm.
Hi. I'm still having an issue with the state IDs having an extra space in the export that I have to take out.
The column, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. So that is on our list. Here's what's going to happen. We know the fix, which is what we're going to do right now. NDE is going to be getting rid of that classic layout. So we won't be able to use that or we're being told they're getting rid of the classic layout. I don't know if that's been a firm decision yet.
I could speak on that. Yeah, we did have that be approved by our committee. So yeah, we'll be talking about that with all the other changes for next year. So that's not happening immediately, but we do expect by the start of next school year, we're going to get rid of that legacy file format. So we're going to ask all the vendors to use the new person ID format.
Right. So with that said, we kind of scratched the fix the old file. You need to create the new way and have moved it up the priority list. And I think we moved it up to hopefully at least, I'd have to look at some notes, but March or April. So just hang tight. So we
Okay,
kind of went from fixing the old that's going to go away to why don't you shift and make the new. So hopefully that's on their list. And we meet every Thursday with Power School. So myself, Max from NDE, and then some other Power School trainers or cooperatives. So if by all means, Kathy, you're part of Nebraska Power School. So if something comes up and you've got a concern, let us know and I'll bring that to the Thursday meeting. But that's the update on that.
okay, perfect, thanks.
Mhm.
And for ESU3 Nepsis, we have switched over to the new file. I think I have everyone using the new file now already. So we should be okay for turning off that legacy file. And we're just working on getting those addresses updated to the state for kids.
All right.
Nothing new from JMC at this time. Smooth sailing at the moment.
All right. Greg, does JMC, do you output one of those or both of those student unique ID file formats? I do not remember.
I think so, yes. So maybe that's something I need to,
I might assume it's still using the legacy, the older format, but yep, we'll, like I said, we'll put it on the list of the changes for next school year, along with all the other advisor changes. So we'll go over that with all the vendors. Anyone else have any updates? Or as usual, this is the end of the call. So last chance. Any questions, any other topics anyone wants to bring up? Go ahead.
Hey, Cheryl from Beatrice, I private messaged you. If you could send me your email address, I'll forward that email to you.
All righty, thank you.
All righty. Last chance. I think we'll be able to call it for today then. Thanks everyone for joining. Our next meeting will be March 10th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Bye everyone.